Okay, we now welcome on NFL Network analyst, three-time Super Bowl champion, and also recurring guest. So welcome back. It is Willie McGinest. We appreciate you joining us, Willie. We're going to get to a bunch of stuff. First, I want to talk to you about Be the Change, which you're working actually with our good friend Julian Edelman, which is to help get people to register to vote before the election in November. And you have two events coming up, right? Two events coming up in the next couple weeks out in California. Is that right?
We have a bunch of events coming up, and one unfortunately had to be pushed back. The one that was at the Forum Inglewood area because of COVID, and we had to make sure that we were doing things right. We just shut down again out here in California, so we're going to do some stuff digitally and online until we are able to come together to have the big event. And Be the Change is just something that myself and Legends, Brian Athleisure Wear came up with. There's a lot of guys, going out using their platforms, whether they were out there marching, protesting, using their Instagrams, their Facebook or whatever, and we're talking and we want change, but being the change is actually going out there and voting and making that change in your local governments or whatever. And it's tough to get younger people, especially in the inner city, out of the house to go down and register to vote. So we came up with something cool. We're going to make these cool hoodies. Julian is helping us out, man. He's spreading the word, and I appreciate him and love him for that. There are a lot of different sports stars, entertainers. Snoop's a big part of this. The Black Music Coalition. There are a lot of sports organizations in the NFL, NHL, MLS, NBA. Everybody's coming aboard, ad agencies to purchase these hoodies. And what we're going to do when people actually come out and register, we're going to give them a hoodie, Be the Change hoodie. We're going to make them really nice and fashionable. And that's my part, man, of teaming up with people and just actually trying to do something to be the change.
I like it. My only problem with that is when it comes to Julian Edelman, he's going to want a sweatshirt that just barely covers up like his nipples and just like shows off the delts and the traps a little bit. Shows it, yeah, he's going to want to show off his body a little bit. So you should probably make like an Ezekiel Elliott size hoodie just for him to wear if you really want him on board with this.
You know him well, man. We customized a lot of we gave him a lot of gear, nice goodie bag. So he's already posted on his story. We probably will throw it back up so people can see it again. But that's my brother, man. I got a lot of love for him and I respect for him, and he gets it, man. If you want change, you got to be the change. You got to go out and do something.
Yep.
Okay, so obviously things have been weird because of coronavirus and everything that's going on. Are you 100% confident sitting here right now that we're going to play NFL?
I want to say I am. I mean, I'm not on the board. My pay grade is not that high that I can tell you, hey, the season's definitely going to happen. But all indications point that there is definitely going to be an NFL season, and we are preparing for that as the NFL, as the network that I work for, the league under the NFL umbrella that I work for. They're putting all the different protocols in place, and everything that I'm told is that we are definitely having an NFL season.
So just a little tip here. Don't say the first part that you're not on the pay grade for it. You need to speak confidently about it, because what's happening right now in society is a big game of telephone where you tell me that we're having NFL season, and then random people ask me because I'm an expert in their eyes, which I'm not, and I can confidently say, yeah, I was talking to Willie McGinest. We're having NFL. So then eventually all of society is confident, and then we don't even know who told us we're having it, but we're all having it together.
I got you, man. Hey,
okay.
Like I said, those main decisions are going to come from the NFL office, but what we're preparing for and what we're telling everybody, that we are having the season, and that's what's happening. So I'm the messenger.
Yes.
Have you seen those helmets that they're putting out that have the integrated masks in them that's supposed to, I guess, deflect a lot of the spittle and like moisture that comes out of your mouth during a game? Like, can you imagine a player actually wearing those? If it feels like it would be insanely hard to catch your breath in those things.
Well, I mean, if you think about the shield that players wear, it covers the nose and the eyes and part of that too. But if there's a shield, it's not like it's wrapped around your face and there's no air or circulation. So have not seen it, heard about it. But, like I said, they're taking all the precautions that, that are possible. So if that's what it has to be, man, to make this season go and protect all the players and protect their families, then that's what we got to do. I'm on board with that.
How do you think Cam Newton's going to fit into the Patriot way?
The Patriot Way. See how you put that? It's not as a player, it's the Patriot Way. And that was one of the things that I wondered about. Cam is very smart. Cam now has a huge chip on his shoulder, and he's in a position to go to a great organization and prove that he still can be Cam Newton, the MVP that we saw a couple of years ago. And I think, like any other player, whether it's Corey Dillon, Randy Moss, any other player, high-profile player with a big ego and personality that's come into our organization, they quickly find out it's about team. Team reigns over individualism. No matter who you are, how big your personality is, how good you are, what draft pick, none of that matters. And players respect that. They respect the fact that all the players in that locker room get treated the same, have the same treatment. Everybody's getting held accountable. Everybody prepares the same. And the rules are in place for everybody. There's no exemption. So I think he will respect that. And I think he also respect that he's going to an organization that's had a lot of success without him. And he can be a part of something really good if he buys into it.
Mm-hmm. So who would you think is going to go further in the playoffs this year if you had to put money on it right now? The Patriots or the Buccaneers?
They're in different conferences, man, so they can both go far. How about let's just have a Patriot Tampa Bay Super Bowl, and then that way we just break even. We just split down the middle.
So if that happens, would you be rooting for the Patriots or your friend Tom Brady?
That's tough, man. That's tough. The Patriots, New England's my home. Tom is my brother. I don't know, man. I got to, whenever I watch these games and I got brothers on each team, I got to be unbiased because of my job. But that's the tough one, man, because you want to see them both have success.
Okay, so a tie in the Super Bowl, and then everyone gets a win. What were you surprised?
I don't want a tie.
Were you surprised at all that Tom Brady left New England? Did you see that coming? That there was maybe a little, I don't know if it was friction between Belichick and Brady, but just, hey, we've been doing this for 20 years, time to move on, kind of thing.
I can't say that I was surprised, but what I can say is I know that both sides wanted to work it out. It just didn't happen that way. Mm-hmm. And I think the fact that Tom wanted some long-term insurance. He felt like he had a lot left in the tank, that he was still playing at a high level. And the fact that the Patriots probably offered something that he wasn't comfortable with. And, he had to make a decision. And I left New England too and went to Cleveland. That's one of the toughest things for a player to do after a number of years, calling someplace home. This is where he's had all his success, all his friends, family. He's built that organization, helped build that organization, all his ties. That's the toughest thing to do in the world. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you and your family. And I think both parties understood that. It's a tough conversation that he had to go in and talk to Mr. Kraft. He had to have that conversation with Bill Belichick. And I guess they agreed to disagree and go their separate ways. I think Tom has been feeling some kind of way for the last couple of years that he's been wanting, to get that reinsurance from the organization. And maybe he didn't feel that way when his deal came up, when he was a free agent. Yeah. And, sometimes with the Patriots, they move a certain way. You can't be disrespected by it, and you can't feel a certain way. And I certainly went through that myself. But you got to understand, with them, it's business. And I know you got the GOAT right here, and you got the best player at that position ever, but it was emotional, and it came down to two sides just not agreeing going forward.